Be free. This is very distracting. A big stick. So if you hear some weird noise, it's that dog. Hey, dog. Be free. So recently I've been, pulling myself a little bit away from social media, but allowing myself to spend a little more time on it when it comes to just kind of learning, getting informational content. And I'm not spending time on what most people think of as social media. The only social media I allow myself to consume is YouTube. And in YouTube, I only allow myself to consume some kind of educational content. Those are my rules that I set for myself, and I do my best to follow them. Now, of course, I can do better. I do mess up sometimes, and I watch some random garbage I don't need to watch, but you get my point. What I've learned from this experience of pulling myself away from consuming content and... Ow, jeez, dog. Poking me with a stick. Can't focus, But what I've learned from pulling myself away from this, from the modern world, from sort of the mainstream media, actually kind of, I've kind of realized that these companies that produce media and produce social media and honestly just mainstream like TV news, like these companies that are behind these networks and behind streaming services and entertainment and all the content we consume, right? These people have an element of power over us. As I said before in a previous video, is that we are not the customer of these companies. We're the products of these companies. They're not selling to us. They're selling to other companies for ads, right? You didn't pay for YouTube. You didn't pay for Instagram. You don't pay for this stuff, but you do pay in your time. You pay in your attention. You're giving these companies your attention, and they're selling your attention. They're selling you to other companies who then pay them to sell you stuff. You're not the customer. You never were. You're the product. And a human who is a product is a slave. These companies who own social media companies, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, whoever you want to blame, right? All these people who control the media, who control the news, all the people who are doing this, they're enslaving you. Whether you or they even know it at all, they're enslaving you. Because if you're addicted to social media like I am, right? I'm gonna admit that I have a social media addiction. I often find myself spending, I'll get on my phone like, I'll watch a YouTube video or two, and the next thing I know, it's 2 hours gone by, and half my day is gone, and all my plans are canceled. I'm losing. I don't have time to get the stuff done I want to get done that day because I'm spending too much time on my phone. I'm gonna admit that. I know people who are way worse than I am when it comes to that, and I feel honestly bad for them because when I have days where I'm not on my phone really at all, not only do I feel better, I'm in a better mood, but I get more done. It's really that simple. I get more done, I get in a better mood because I'm more productive, and it's a better day if I'm not on my phone. But some people don't have control over whether or not they're on their phone all day because they are controlled by the companies. Social media is a unique addiction in that you aren't fighting your own, you're not just fighting your own desires. Because no one goes on social media and goes, wow, jeez, bugging my eye. No one goes on social media and goes, wow, I can't wait to see that post of that person who I think is better than me. I can't wait to feel bad about myself because this guy's is in better shape than I am, or this guy makes more money than me, or whatever stupid garbage, right? This person's having more fun than I am in my life. No one goes on social media to do that, but you end up doing that. You end up seeing people and feeling bad about yourself because you're seeing the fake version of people, right? We all know this. We all know that, we shouldn't judge ourselves based on what people post online, blah, 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 all that baloney, right? But we don't go on those apps with that intention. We go on those apps almost out of impulse, almost out of habit. We go on those apps for one little innocent thing, next thing we know, we're doing something that we never wanted to do in the first place, something we know was bad for us. That's because unlike most addictions, social media doesn't give us pleasure. It gives us distraction. And it also gives us pain. If you're addicted to alcohol, if you're addicted to drinking, like many members of my family are, unfortunately, if you're addicted to drinking, you do it because it distracts you from your life, and it also gives you sort of a sense of joy, right? A sense of pleasure, right? You're not consumed by your worries as much. You're able to let go, carefree more. Often people tie it to having a good time. But with social media, you're not doing it socially. You're doing it chronically. You're addicted to it. You're attached to it. You're enslaved by it. And so how can we break free? How can we become free from this addiction? We can go cold turkey, delete all those apps, be done. I don't recommend that. I've tried that. It usually doesn't work. Often, for me at least, it made it kind of worse if I did that, because I was constantly craving. I ended up craving social media more when I just removed that, when I just deleted the app, right? But instead, what I did is you set a period of time, right? Say this week. You set this week to be, okay, this week I'm going to limit my screen time to X hours, right? If your screen time is 5 hours a day or more, limit to about 4. Don't go, I'm going to only have an hour screen time because that's what all the cool people do. No. That's why don't do that. Don't be that guy who goes, yeah, I'm only going to have an hour screen time because that dude I watched on social media told me to only have an hour screen time. If your screen time's 5 hours, this week I'm only going to watch it for 4. I'm going to spend time on my phone for 4 hours. That's going to be my weekly average. Next week, make your weekly average 3.5. Week after that, 3, 2. Next thing you know, you're never on your phone really at all. And you're free. Bugs everywhere. It's really that simple. Just slowly but surely chip away. This fly is really annoying me. The problem is it's fall's coming in right now, and it's super, super dry where I live. We're in a big drought, and the bugs have just been a nightmare. Probably because I'm the only moisture around, so they're all attracted to like my sweat. Yeah, but instead of trying to fight them head on, instead you're slowly jabbing, you're slowly chipping away at their armor, making this addiction that you have weaker and weaker, giving them less and less of a hold over you, until next thing you know, to quit social media is like opening your eyes in the morning. Nothing to it. That's the power of aggressive deal. That's the power of taking control of your life. It's the power of becoming free. Because nobody wants to be enslaved. Nobody wants to be controlled. We all crave, above all else, freedom. That's all I got for today. God bless you, and stay wild.